Hello and welcome to a short video where we're going to be talking about activating the transverse abdominus through a couple of simple techniques. This is a great core exercise for anyone, but it's especially targeted today for postpartum mamas who are cleared for exercise. So if you're looking to get integrated back into your core muscles, you want to start with the deep belly core muscles instead of your traditional crunches right away, which might kind of antagonize your healing process. So with all of that in mind, we're going to begin on our backs when you're ready. If you need some cushion for your back, I have a pretty sensitive sacrum after delivering a baby. Maybe you're the same way. I like to place a blanket there. As you come down, just hug the knees into the chest. You can actually physically grab onto the knees, or you can just let them be free. And we'll just rock a little side to side. So just kind of massaging across the lower back. And eventually we're just going to set the feet down to the floor. As your feet land down, really press into the four corners of the feet so the arches are active. We're going to start with some nice complete breaths. So as you breathe in, feel the belly expand, the ribs and the chest lift as well. And then as you exhale, release the air, feel the belly, the ribs, and the chest kind of move back into neutral. Especially noticing if those ribs tend to stay flared up and open. See if you can really focus on guiding the ribs to an inward sort of position. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest flare out, open. As that diaphragm muscle pushes down. And then as you exhale, the diaphragm relaxes back up as you release the air out of the lungs, belly, ribs, chest. And just keep going, a few more rounds of that. Continue to press down through your feet. If it helps, maybe you take your thumbs onto the lower portion of your ribs and feel them drawing in on the exhales. The low back is kind of moving toward the floor. One more round. Now, if this feels like a lot of work, I want you to just stick with this. Breath work is core work, so you can just do this and you'll find benefit for your body's healing process. If you'd like to add on, we're going to take another breath in, just as we've been doing. And at the top, we're going to hold before we exhale. So keep everything kind of puffed up. And then when you're ready, take that exhale. Feel the ribs draw in. The lower part of your belly starts to activate. Maybe you take your hands to the lower belly beneath the navel and kind of feel that tension. That is your transverse abdominis. Maintain this activation now. Hold on to that engagement, but still breathe. So take an inhale and an exhale. You'll feel that muscle still working to kind of support. Continue to breathe and hold here. Or if you want to add on, lift the right leg. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, drop the right foot back down. Maintain that activation of the transverse abdominis. Lift the left leg and drop it back down. You can kind of march here. Moving slowly is really important, not just to support actual activation of these muscles, but also to support your body as you start to come back into movement and activity out of pregnancy. Now this time, Let's go ahead and land both feet down and let the transverse abdominus kind of turn off for a moment. You can windshield wiper the knees side to side. You can stick with that marching, or you can begin to lift both knees up, align them over your hip points, flex through your feet to encourage some activation, squeeze your inner thighs. If you have a yoga block or something similar, you could even place it between your legs to make sure that you're squeezing, so it would be easy for someone to come and take it. This is a great exercise here. Take a big breath in, breathe out. Turn on that transverse abdominus and then hold there. You can stay here, or maybe you take the hands to the thighs and lift your head up, drawing the chin to the chest. You're gonna push thighs into palms, palms into thighs, so you start to feel that muscle even deeper. Use your breath to smooth out the heart rate. Squeeze that block. And then relax. You can keep the block between the legs if you'd like. Maybe you take a little bridge pose, lifting the hips up. And then settle them back down. One more little exercise here. Now we're going to work into some kind of twisty core stuff, still focused on this TVA muscle. Start to lift your feet off the floor. Squeeze your block if you'd like. Maybe you even take the block out a little bit wider so your knees come out wider. Bring the inner feet together. It can be big toe knuckles or the heels as well. And then from here, we're going to take the arms out to the sides. You can take them out to a T or cactus the elbows, whatever feels better. Take a breath in. And on your breath out, really focus on activating the TVA and pressing the back into the floor. Squeeze your block if it's there. Hold on to this activation through the core. Keep your breath moving, and we'll start to drop the legs over to the left and then over to the right. You can find a rhythm with your breath here that works for your body, but make sure it continues to move. And try not to let go of that nice brace you have here, that activation through the low belly. Slow and controlled to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. One more time on either side. And then come back to center. Release your block if you've got it there. Let the knees rest to one another. And let the belly be soft. Something we also need to focus on postpartum is allowing for your body to be soft. So it's not all about being rigid and hard on yourself. In fact, it's not about that at all. We want to build strength in the core so we can support healing as well as be able to hold our babies. But beyond that, we really want to focus on giving ourselves grace, allowing for the belly to show that it just expanded to hold a baby, not expecting it to be tight and back to what it was. From here, you can move through the sequence once more if you want to start the video over, if you feel ready for more activity. Otherwise, you can just give yourself a big hug here and close out your practice. Namaste.